morning, Justice. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. Pretty well. Just a little prereq on this Monday morning. My girls had that huge fort built,
Yeah.
and that took all of my lights and my light stands and all the stuff that I usually build for my studio. But Hannah's still asleep in there, so it's a good chance that she'll wake up and or she'll snore. So you guys might hear a little bit of snoring in the background. It's a good chance. Good chance that it's Hannah. So
That's very sweet. It's very nice of you to have left your sleeping daughters undisturbed in their fort built of your
oh no, just
your
one.
accessories.
Just one. The other one, as soon as I start moving around in here, either goes to another bedroom to fall asleep. But today she went up to take a nice bath. We drove out yesterday to the Cove, Lighthouse Cove, just kind of outside of
That's
Tilbury,
nice.
and visited some friends of ours out there, Marnie and Bill, and Ted and Amanda, and
Oh, sorry,
Marnie's.
friend.
Oh no, that's my voice in the background.
No,
Um,
I know. I was just pulling up the stream so I could watch comments. We have
uh,
no video today, so I just did it now.
yeah, well that's good. Yeah, that's right. Usually we have a video to start off. We don't have that. It's a little bit of a manic Monday. I actually just had the cats in here too, so they knocked out the Wi-Fi about 8 minutes ago, and I don't know. I literally have to kind of go through now. Now it's time to go to hardware store, get some more Cat 5 cable, and actually get some get some things that affixes it to the wall instead of just allowing it to kind of hang out. These two little kittens are getting into everything.
How's
So,
that going?
uh, pretty good. Last night,
Good.
on the weekend, we realized that the cats really enjoyed the kittens, I should say, really enjoy the broom. I'm sure, like you guys have had cats, or even dogs, maybe small dogs. Maybe they like it too. It's maybe the sound of the broom and the bristles, but they start attacking the broom. So wherever we put the broom, the two of them will be around there playing. Well, I think last night, Turkey Sandwich, which is the one cat, realized that my beard in the middle of the night was very similar to the whiskers on the broom, and there ensued a bit of first some kneading and some cuddling, and then second was a total like ass flip into my face as he attacked my beard, and then I realized that the kitten had to go to another room last night because it was a little ridiculous. But yeah, my beard has now been not just a cuddle point, but the attacking point. So if I end up with it totally shaved off now, it's all because of the kittens.
You should then take the shavings from your beard and then bring them home and then just present them to the kittens.
Bring them home.
Blow their mind
Where
for
would I?
Christmas morning.
No, they can't do beards at the barber yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't. Like that's really interesting. What? So you did go to the barber. What was your experience like?
Well, I miss them. I miss them immensely. I miss seeing people. I mean, we go back and forth about that, and a lot of us are kind of hit with that a lot. We miss seeing people, but I used to see those guys literally almost every 7 to 10 days. I kid you not, and it was always nice to kind of go in and have chats and hangouts. You go in, you have a mask, so it's kind of difficult. You kind of have to at some points in time kind of hold the mask so they can get around the ear with the elastic band and stuff. And the only thing that could be done was very simple trim, kind of here and pretty much at the side. There's
Right. So you don't look like a wizard anymore.
oh, I don't know, man. This thing grows so fast right now. There's no tilting up. There's no touching the bottom of your neck. You can't allow your airway to be kind of that exposed. So, it does mean that those of us with beards have to take it at home a little bit more and start doing the trimming. I've been nervous, but really kind of trying to perfect it. I don't know.
I
It's
shaved.
like
I have my
cutting your own hair, right? Not my own hair, but that's a pretty big thing too. So,
No, absolutely. This past week, I had a couple friends here visiting from out of town, and I shaved my friend's head for the first time, which was fun. I didn't wreck his hair, which was cool, but I was like pretty convinced I was going to the whole time I was doing it. I was like, this is a mistake. You shouldn't have let me do this. you're nuts.
So
this is awful.
Brett's now got a bald head?
No. I left like that top thing that like the boys like with the curls. It's very cute. He cleaned it up himself a little bit because I think he's got some experience cutting his own hair. But for my first time shaving another person, I think I did all right.
Any pictures floating around?
No, mostly because I didn't think that I would ever need to tell that story.
Well, when you have a morning show and you don't have a guest that shows up, you got a few minutes to fill yourself. And we don't even have a video because I think we were like tapped out of the stuff that we had done and produced with the AVB.
We're sort of out of AVB videos. Yeah. It's like there aren't as many local bands who are making music, like who need new music videos shown and stuff like that. So It's sort of just, we'll keep pushing the call out. And if anybody wants their videos shown, we're happy to show them.
Well, yeah, I think we should be getting back into, the Windsor scene music collective there on Facebook and tossing this out a little bit more. But yeah, always open to throw out new music, old music, just great nostalgia. That's a good thing too. We kind of like to bring up, I guess for us, it was a simple way to kind of bring up the memories as a really easy way to kind of, and a positive way to start your day. Listening to some of the podcasts and, those things, trying to stay positive, it's like you're literally stealing the emotions from the past. We're literally being able to look at those videos and kind of remember those days. We remembered the cold days, we remembered the bands, we remembered the stuff falling off the wall, and that gives you a little bit of a laugh right now. And it's essentially stealing from the past and bringing those memories forward. So it's a neat little trick. One of those things we came up with by listening to other podcasts, and luckily we had done enough videos with AJ in the AVB to be able to pull back in, a lot of memories on a lot of great bands and a lot of the stuff that I think we're all kind of hoping and looking forward to. I don't know.
The AVB days were like the best. That was studio days and recording days are basically the reason I stayed in this industry. There's nothing quite like the collaborative, sort of collaborative creativity that way. I know a lot of the artists we work with are sort of individual artists or bands, and those have their own, they're sort of their own pros and cons to working in those situations. But being on a set and producing, I'm going to call it television just because that's sort of the easiest way to sort of sum up the idea, is there's something to it because we're not all musicians, right? It's everybody's kind of got their own discipline and training. So it's a really fascinating and interesting collection of personalities that all have to function together very, very smoothly in order to produce some of that stuff. And we got very lucky, I think, in that the AVB team just sort of all really wanted to be there and made it easy. I'm kind of just going on because I'm, very excited for our show. I can't wait to get back sort of on set and start doing these things. And even though it'll be different, there won't be as many all cuddling on the couch in a blanket in the cold studio because of social distancing and COVID. But the vibe in the room, I think, will be something else, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
I mean, we are still looking over, myself looking over the CAPIC guidelines, CAPIC, Canadian Association of Photographers and Image Makers, and it's an 18-page document and guideline about how we should be going on about our business, and again the infographics, and it breaks it down now so that when we go into production, and this really wasn't something that we had to consider as much before. I'm sure larger teams, they will have a sound guy or they'll have a lighting tech, in which case those are pretty much the only people that are dealing with that gear. But the guidelines are pretty strict now in that any job that is your title, any gear that you're touching you're the only person touching it. So it's really kind of, when we're starting to plan these things or even think about how productions are going to go, Justice and I are talking with another client that we've been doing some branding work for, and moving forward, I mean, it's not as simple as like, hey, we're into phase 2 and everything's going to kind of go back to a semi-normal. And then given literally, again, the fluctuation of numbers, doesn't matter what population you're in, just overall, it shows that it doesn't just go away. It's not just one drop. There's quite a few ripples that we're going to feel. So we still have to be extremely careful about, moving forward and planning these photo shoots, so much so that I have to make sure, we had to go out and buy our own PPE. We got to make sure that our gear is cleaned afterwards. There's even a question as to whether or not people can use the studio in the bathroom.
Right.
Or else we essentially are the studio in the bathroom in the studio. Yes. And then it, now even comes into going into other people's homes. We were kind of filming on locations. We had a different idea of the way that we wanted to film these. And I think that the outcome is going to be, or the final product is going to be a little bit different, because we have to think about the way that we are, capturing some of these scenes and where, not even where we can film, but where the people who are our subjects, where they're comfortable having us film.
Right.
So
actually, I think that kind of leads me into something that I was reading about yesterday, that if we're just hanging out, I wouldn't mind getting your opinion on. I saw that. So, like, how do I call it? Regions, that have been put into stage 2. Stage 3 follows between like 4 to 6 weeks after. So a region like Vaughan is moving towards stage 3. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, Syx, but Vaughan is where Canada's Wonderland is located. And Canada's Wonderland is going to be opening with stage 3. So this doesn't affect us as much, because I wouldn't be willing to drive the 4 hours out to that anyway, but I'm just sort of curious, Syx, what your kind of thoughts on the opening of an amusement park during a pandemic. How does that make you feel?
There's a lot of people touching things. I don't know. I honestly feel it's like, even at the best of times, I think that was one of the things that kind of weirded me out about being in some of those places. Not that I'm a germaphobe, but my history is in owning a piercing shop and a tattoo shop. I started that in 1994. I ran that until 1999. These were times when the health units in the area didn't really understand how sterilizations and practices went within those industries. So even back then, the way that I gloved and learned how to glove, and I learned about germs. After that, being in those places was a little bit meh. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm also scared shitless now, for some odd reason, of going onto a roller coaster. I think now the closer you get to death naturally in life, the more you fear the stupid ways that you would taunt it to make it happen quicker. And I don't know.
Saw this incredible video. Sorry to interrupt. I saw this incredible video. It was about roller coaster Tycoon. But it started with like sort of talking about the beauty of engineering and the beauty of roller coasters. And there's a thought experiment. It's a roller coaster. It's a series of increasingly smaller, successive loops. And the idea is that the roller coaster kills you. That's the deal. That's the roller coaster. It's called the death coaster, yeah. I think. And personally, if I had to pick, I'd pick the death coaster.
Yeah.
If I got to choose, absolutely.
What is there's the world's most dangerous amusement park, and
Action Park. I could tell
Action Park. Yeah. Like that would essentially be, you'd be the poster child for Action Park.
By all means, the water slide with the loop-de-loop. I think we've actually talked about this over dinner a couple of times. But no, I'm I don't know, if you look at something like that and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna put my body through that just to see what happens. Like, but good on you, man.
Coming out the other side's a little bit hard. I don't know. So yeah, roller coasters kind of weird me out. What else? Because of my gluten intolerance, I can't enjoy like corn dogs. So
Okay,
I'm already angry and bitter about not being able to eat most of the things as soon as I walk into an amusement. Now I sound like I'm just old and angry and bitter. But yeah.
Roller coasters aren't made to accommodate plus size people, and since I was 16 years old, my butt is too big for roller coaster seats, so I have like a personal kind of beef with amusement parks in general, and it sucks because I love, in theory, all of the things about amusement parks. I love roller coasters, I love junk food, I love especially the Halloween things they do where they turn all of their like old indoor rides into like haunted houses.
Yeah.
Love that. That.
Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that a little bit though, because you and I have both, well, you've been with me to interview Orbax a little bit. So, I mean, for some of the viewers, they know myself and they know a little bit of my past. But Orbax and Sweet Pepper, who are the Monsters of Schlock, and now Orbax and Pepper Do Science, these guys have essentially been, for almost a decade now, doing something in Vancouver called Fright Nights, where they literally took the amusement park and it became an attraction just during October. And of course, this year was just canceled. This was supposed to be the 13th year of their show.
No.
So,
no!
Yeah. So it's sort of like if they're riding an elevator to the top, there will be no number 13 for them. They'll just go back and it'll be like number 14 maybe next year. But I'm looking at a lot of those sorts of things. It isn't just the musicians. It isn't just like things like the amusement parks, which are taking a big hit. But it's like attractions like this and like things that we hold as great Halloween traditions and stuff like that are really, they're going to be totally different this year. I have no idea how we really got onto Halloween, but I mean, it's Orbax and Pepper and all this fun, yeah. But, we didn't expect to go here this Monday morning, but, talking about Halloween and preparing for this is probably pretty good.
Halloween's very important. Halloween is very important. What are you doing? How did we get here, Syx? How did we get here? I wonder.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, no, I just got hit with sort of like the realization that like not Queen Street, excuse me, like the neighborhood now that I seem to have forgot, Church Street, the Church Street Halloween in Toronto. That's not going to be.
No.
It's a bummer.
There's a lot of things. We got a lot of concerts canceled and all that stuff. I really hope again, that through a lot of this, that I guess being those Canadian kind of creators and artists, living through some shitty winters and some hard times, stuck underneath snow and locked inside, I hope that we can kind of come through the other side, or that we can all find our creativity to keep things going. Man, it's just kind of weird to think about, where things will go, how they will go.
Have any of your concerts been rescheduled?
No, I don't think so. No, I think we've been returned. I think our last one just came in a couple weeks ago, which was Macedon and Gojira and Poppy up in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, but
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Try and enjoy as much music as I can right now. Still, I think I answered this. I still can't stand the sound quality on Spotify, so I'm still an iTunes streamer for most of my stuff.
For you yet?
Pardon me?
Haven't we fixed that for you yet?
No, I've heard people with it on premium. Maybe it's just my old bitter ears. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to the crappier sound, or the other sound that comes off of iTunes. Who knows?
Both of my concerts that were for this year, my two big ones, were rescheduled. So I'm going to go see the Arkells and hopefully Bleachers. I don't know exactly if they kept their opener for their rally next year. I'm still probably going to do that. But I have questions about the My Chemical Romance show that I had tickets for, which was in Detroit. I don't know if I would, even if the border was open and everything was good, I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm 100% willing to want to go sit in an arena full of folks, sort of.
No, no. I'm definitely not there yet. I mean, literally, this week I have to have, some emails that kind of go back and forth about meetings, and there are some people that want to meet in person, and I think I'm still at the point of just, damn, this Zoom thing's kind of working out. I don't have to put as much time into these meetings, but I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to spend money on food or anything. We can have a definitely creative, kind of face-to-face chats with clients this way. So, for me, this is the kind of a little bit more of the realistic way that I've got to start thinking about things too, because when I'm trying to plan these photo shoots, there has to be now a little bit more kind of talk with the people I'm going to be shooting. Where can we go? Like, what's the location? I essentially want to take, and this isn't trying to speed through anything, but I want to have as little time and as far away contact with people as well to keep those people safe.
No, for all of us, right? Like, it's not so much that just nobody knows. You can't see germs, man. If we could see COVID, if it looked like something, this might be a different story. But like, the reality of the situation is, just as I'm sure you know, with years doing like piercing and touching folks, is that like, maybe not.
Yeah.
It's just better not to.
And again, bordering on that side of being cautious. I don't know. I've been funny with kind of quipping back at people that have issues about wearing or not wearing a mask. It's like, dude, if you want to fucking rebel, go and get a damn tattoo now. There's people opening back up. We don't need to be risking like everybody's kind of health. Like, ride a motorcycle, buy yourself a leather jacket, wear a leather jacket in the summer. Show us how tough of a, rebel in another way, and don't be so frivolous with health, I think. So I've always tried to err on that side of caution, and that does stem from a lot of the piercing world. I mean, we had to go through like the pandemic of HIV and AIDS, and we were touching people and blood, and there was a lot of stuff that wasn't known then that's even known now, so a lot of stuff comes from learning, and that's kind of how science progresses. Taryn and I were reading a friend's, actually I think it was Colleen's post, that just kind of sort of set straight a little bit of this, people making posts online. Well, the scientists told us this, and now they're telling us this, and first they said this, and now they said this. And one of the better posts that I heard was her saying, well, this is the way that science works. It always has to kind of continue and change, because if they were just saying, well, that it's this, and then no research is done and there's no change of an idea, then that's not really learning. And it's so science is always progressive too, and it things are going to change.
Just like, it's one of my favorite memes. I'm gonna quote it to you, and it's that like, doctors in like the 1800s were whack as hell, because they just be like, yep, you got ghosts in your blood, do some cocaine about it, and that was science, and that's just that's what we all accepted. Like, right. in 20 years, so even within our lifetime still, like, we're gonna look back on 2020 and be like, yo, we were so dumb. How were we even functional? We were so dumb. And it's just like, that's kind of the way stuff goes. So I'm personally not a huge fan of the argument of the like, well, they said no masks and now they're saying masks. And it's like, well, if you look at what was going on at the time when people were saying not to wear masks, it's because there was a PPE shortage for hospitals and doctors, and like, folks were supposed to be at home anyway. So it was kind of like one of those things. And now we know new information and things are different. So like, listen to the experts and sort of do what you're supposed to. Wear your masks. Like, don't touch people so much.
Don't touch your face. Don't touch people.
Yeah, don't touch people. Don't touch people so much.
Don't touch things that people touch as much as you can.
Like don't just like rub stuff at the grocery. I played Rick and Morty Dungeons and Dragons with my friends last week, and part of the role play for me was touching everything, because I can't now, and so I rubbed all the doors, rubbed all the objects, rubbed all the treasure, just got my hands all over everything, because you have to pretend now. You have to pretend.
You have to pretend. Yeah. Oh, jeez. See? It's that enjoyable to pretend. You need a little bit of it.
Yeah, no, exactly. In fact, I don't want to do anything else.
I mean, right now, we're pretending that we have a fucking television something or other that somebody has actually watched for 24 minutes when it's just you and I on a Monday morning talking. Like, we are definitely in a pretend world.
Okay, that's fine. It's better that way. Look at all these bones.
Look at all these
This
bones.
is exactly where I want to be. I don't want to have to go back into the real world. This is my place, man. I love the internet. If I could just be this for the rest of my life, I think I would. I think I told you Syx.
I think you like to get out of the house a little bit more than you're trying to admit right now.
What?
I said I think you'd like to get out of the house a little more than you are admitting right now. But
no,
yeah.
absolutely. Last week, cumulatively, I spent 16 hours on the highway, and maybe wouldn't do it again soon, but would definitely do it again at some point.
Yeah.
But
Road trips.
Are we?
Road trips, hey?
Yeah, kind of like.
You know, we had some friends that took a trip because the hotels and shit are crazy cheap, and they were in Niagara Falls, and of course it was very desolate. But yeah, with those things kind of opening back up, you know, if you're one of those people that really wants a deal, you can get a deal. But road tripping, just go there and back, hang out in your car, you know, turn your own music on, enjoy things that way. So.
I didn't even realize like how much I missed the highway, and just like how much the highway, I don't know, kind of like does stuff to my brain. It was just like super easy to think, and like I don't know, things felt really clear, at least on the way up to Toronto the first time. Every other trip past that was kind of chaotic, but that's all right.
Yeah, Taryn gets those feels when she hits the highway too. She usually feels nappy, and then soon falls asleep. So that's Taryn's road trips, or series of naps while I drive.
I have to drive, so I can't nap as much as I would like to.
Oh. Yes, we are kind of coming to the end of our half hour in our pretend world where people actually care about what we're talking about. So rat count is up to 6. Yeah, there's been a few. I probably will find some more. The pool that we have out back has a little bit of a leak in the blow-up part of it, so there's soon going to be a pool apocalypse in our backyard. And what else? We hung out with some friends this weekend, and you know, outside, underneath some beautiful trees, way out. You know, not even in people's houses. It was great. And it's, you know, it is kind of nice to see the few people that you have, or that we have selectively put into that tight circle of people that we hang out with. So, I don't know. We usually do what do you do to stay positive? And this is what we do, Justice. We, for some odd reason, keep doing this every morning to see each other and say hi, and then to share that out to all these peeps.
Hell yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. And I think we might see everybody on Tuesday.
We'll see.
We'll see you on Tuesday.